The hardest weight that you will ever lose is not what you think. Now, people will tell you the hardest weight to lose is like that last 10 pounds, which is true. The last 10 pounds is the hardest. And then some will say that the hardest weight to lose is just getting started, all right? And sometimes people will say that the hardest weight to lose is when you're faced with resistance on your diet. And you're probably wondering, like, what am I doing with a cheesecake? Well, for those of you who don't know and have been following my journey, I just turned 49 a couple days ago on Wednesday. Today is Saturday. By the time you see this video, it'll be Sunday. And as you can see, half of this is gone. Now, I've been doing a keto carnivore diet, and this is definitely not a keto carnivore cheesecake. All right, and as you notice, half is gone. I have not eaten half. I've only eaten one slice. The rest, my other family had. On my birthday, I haven't had a slice since. Let me just go ahead and put this away because this is getting kind of tempting, okay? Let's get back to what's the hardest weight you'll ever lose, okay? Now, before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, maybe you just subscribe. I'm getting subscribers all the time. And my name is Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach who back in 2018 kind of dabbled with the keto diet. I went all in and I lost 70 pounds in 7 months. That's right. I was like 243 pounds in 2017. And then by July of 2018, I lost all that weight. And I've also coached hundreds of men from all over the world to lose at least 40 pounds in 16 weeks using my Keto Shed 40 program. If you want more info on that, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description and you can click it. It'll take you to another video that kind of explains a little bit more in detail as to how I could potentially help you and just to have a conversation to see if you and I would be a good fit. Anyway, okay, so with that out of the way, yes, losing the last 10 pounds definitely is the hardest. I'm kind of experiencing that now. And, the other part of losing weight that's very, very difficult is actually getting started. Most people just get confused by all these confusing things and they don't know which thing to do and they're confused, and that causes paralysis analysis. So just taking the first step to actually start something can actually be the hardest part of losing weight, but that's not quite it. Now you may be wondering, okay, I lost 70 pounds in 2018. And if you've been watching my videos, I lost 43 pounds this year. Well, let me go back to 2018 for just a second. I kept the weight off a good 2 years, but then 2020 happened. I got really sloppy, got really comfortable. I put some weight back on. I couldn't get off the horse for 4 years. So this year I decided that's it. I'm gonna draw a line in the sand. And I started at 233. And in January 2nd, started with a 5-day fast, lost 15 pounds. And from there, I've been doing keto carnivore. I've been doing 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day. If you've been watching, I just experimented with alternate day fasting. And all of that combined has helped me lose 43 pounds. So I'm sitting around that 190. My goal was to get to 190 by my 49th birthday. I achieved that, which was just a couple days ago. And I think I want to shoot for 185. So we're kind of sitting around that 192. I mean, kind of like fluctuating between 188, 192. Today I'm fasting. That's a tradition that I do every weekend. I'll fast. I won't break it till tomorrow afternoon. Okay, let's get back into why you clicked on this video, okay? The hardest, by far, weight that you are ever going to lose is the weight of other people's opinions. Now, let me explain. You may have faced this, right? You're excited. It's January. You're starting this diet. You're eating clean. Maybe you've adopted keto with carnivore. And your family's kind of looking at you like, isn't that going to like clog all your arteries, eating all that fat? Don't you need to like eat more? Why are you starving yourself doing this whole fasting thing? And you'll notice that the people that tell you these things are usually people that are unhealthy themselves and they're overweight. Have you ever noticed that? People give you all this advice, but they themselves are not in the best shape, okay? So I want to encourage you to say you are on your own path. Not everyone's going to understand your journey. They're not going to understand the path that you are on. And you just got to accept that. Not everyone's going to agree with how you're living your life. You're fasting, whether you're doing keto or carnivore, they're not going to understand it. You are on your own path, what that is right for you. So you got to get rid of the weight of other people's opinions, okay? And you're probably going to get a lot of them, but you need to carve out your own lane, stay in that lane, you know what's best for yourself, and stick to the goal. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday, and a lot of people tend to jump from so many things because they are, you know, implementing other people's opinions, like, into their life. Like, well, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. And people have what's called the red ball, or the red shiny ball syndrome. Basically, it just means every time something new comes out, you want to gravitate toward this thing. Oh, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, well, this doesn't work, and maybe I'll try this year. What you're lacking is focus. And I want you to write this down. The word focus stands for follow one course until successful. Now, it's okay to take advice from other people who have already been there, done that, okay? I understand it because I was overweight myself. I know the struggle it takes to lose weight. So you can take it from me that I'm going to point you in the right direction, or I'm going to do my very best to point you in the right direction, okay? So there's nothing wrong with taking advice and opinions from people who have actually done what you're trying to do, or done what I've actually done, okay? So that's okay. That's a totally separate thing. But you're going to get people in your life. I kind of call it like the crabs in the bucket story. If you're not familiar with the crabs in the bucket story, you could stick a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket, and most people would tell you, like, hey, you need to put a lid on that bucket because those crabs are going to get out of the bucket. But that actually isn't what happens. What you're going to find is you'll find one brave crab try to get out of that bucket. And as he's climbing out of that bucket, the other crabs pull him down. So you could literally have a whole bucket full of crabs and you don't have to worry about them escaping because the other crabs are pulling him down. Well, that's the same thing that happens in life. You're going to have people that don't agree with you. They're going to try to pull you down. They're going to say it's not healthy. You know, I've had people even in my own family that think it's not healthy that I do prolonged fasting. And there's just so much research with autophagy and cleaning up the old protein cells in your body and creating new ones. If you've had, family history of disease and, cancerous tumors and things like that, there's so much benefits to doing fasting. And with keto and carnivore, maybe you're someone watching this video and you have a little bit of a fat phobia. People have that. Like, yeah, that fat cannot possibly be healthy for you. I'm going to tell you right now, what's unhealthy is when you combine fats with sugars. And this is what you find in a lot of processed foods. It's the unhealthy fats, the canola oils, the seed oils, the trans fats. And you're combining with sugars like your basic desserts, right? Like the cheesecake, right? Carbs and sugars, okay? Not very healthy. Now, like I said, I've only had one piece out of that, but it is in my fridge, so I will be eating it. But like, if you knew me beforehand, I would have had a slice every single day until that's gone. So I'm doing this more strategically. So when I, maybe a little bit low on my calories on certain days, I'll kind of like sneak it in until it's actually gone, okay? But anyway, just getting back to, keto and carnivore being healthy, and is that when you're eating high fat, high protein, this is going to cause your satiety, you're going to be more satiated, okay? You're not going to be as hungry, you're not going to be as craving, and think about it. How much easier would it be to lose weight if you weren't constantly craving and hungry all the time? It would be 10 times easier, okay? That's the beauty of keto with carnivore and intermittent fasting. Sure, you can lose weight on a flexible diet as long as you're in a calorie deficit, but you're probably going to deal with hungers and cravings. I'd rather not deal with that. So I would rather keep my appetite suppressed. I mean, that's what a lot of these weight loss drugs do. They just suppress your appetite to where you're not hungry. Well, guess what? You can do it for free. Well, the food's not free, but you won't need a weight loss drug to do it. You just eat keto carnivore and you're going to keep that, your blood sugar's low, your insulin low, which is going to cause you to be more satisfied throughout the day. So you won't be constantly dealing with hungers and cravings, okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that. If you're new to my channel and you're kind of dabbling, should I do this carnivore keto thing with fasting? Because maybe you're getting a lot of outside opinions that say, hey, it's just not healthy. You shouldn't be doing that. But again, You will make it to your goal if you just carve your own lane, stick to what you know is best for you, and just ignore all those other opinions. I mean, most of these opinions that are coming from people that are not even healthy, so don't even sweat it, all right? I have found that that will be the hardest weight you'll ever lose, is the weight of other people's opinions. So I just want to give you a little bit of an update of where I'm at. You know, I had my birthday on Wednesday. It is now Saturday. I'm doing a fast. I weighed myself this morning. You know, my goal was to get to 190 by my birthday, but I've jumped up a little bit, 192. No big deal. Your body's going to fluctuate. That's totally normal. But I'm fasting all day. I'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll probably be around that 189 or 190-ish, because I usually lose about 3 to 4 pounds when I do these 48-hour fasts. I stop my meal on Friday at 1:30, and I won't break it again and probably after 1:30 on Sunday. So it's probably going to be a little longer than 48 hours because I got to go to church tomorrow, come home, get dressed, go to my parents, going to mow their lawn, and then I'll finally get to eat. So it's going to be a pretty long fast. But I just want to make this video, give you an update of how things are going. And remember, don't allow the weight of other people's opinions to stop you or distract you. Okay, so if you like this video, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and always hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I will see you next time.